Good evening, everybody. We will start this second press conference with France captain Charles Olivon and head coach Fabien Galtier. First question, please. Good evening, gentlemen. Romain Madrid for Lundi Sport. Question for Fabien. Fabien, given the stakes in this game, finally you ended up with a try every 10 minutes. So since the kickoff, could we consider this was a game plan that was carried out perfectly? Good evening to all of you. Thank you for your question. Let's say that it was a successful game, yes, because the stakes were very high. That was qualification, and winning the opening game against New Zealand and the two middle games meant we still had to beat Italy to qualify, which we did. It was done, and the score 60-7 is a score that satisfies us also. And to answer your question more specifically, the fact of having been able to line up all of our players and control the game from start to finish with the 23 players is also very satisfying. Good evening, Fabien. Pierre Robin for Canal+. Is there a genuine satisfaction, especially at the front where the pack dominated and whose work led to all the tries? Can you talk about your pack? Ball winning worked well. The performance in the scrum, at the lineouts, both defensively and offensively, are two very positive outcomes for this game, especially with the rotation of the players. So overall in the game, we were able to put permanent pressure on Italy at this level. Good evening, Fabien. A word about your defence, which is progressing from game to game. We really feel that Anthony Gelon and Danty's tackles are working out for you. Well, it's true that our defence is progressing, but it's up to you to judge or assess. We will quietly go back and see where we can improve, because we shipped 7 points. 7 points remains something consistent with our ambitions in this competition. Now, clearly, the defence, we will closely watch all the teams that are competing for this World Cup. They all have very tightly sealed defences. So clearly, for us, we're looking to ship as few points as possible and spend as little time as possible without the ball. Good evening, Fabien. Wilfried Templier, RM7. It's not always easy to talk about one player, but one has wild figures. That's Damien Penaud, who this evening has overtaken Vincent Clerc, and Serge Blanco, who is best scorer in the World Cup. 30 tries in the last 31 games. Can you talk to us about Damien's performances? Well, it's easy. The winger is the last link in a chain of skills. So Damien is lucky enough to play in a team that is performing and will put him into areas where he feels comfortable. So it's very easy to congratulate Damien for his offensive performance, but it's also very easy when you have a team like that working for you. And in fact, the players who become great are served by their teams. So there is always a balance between, for me anyway, if I may say so, individual performance is served by the collective performance, whoever the players. It's true that for 4 years now we could underscore a lot of players who are revealing themselves and who are growing, but it's always because the team is carrying them. And it's a mix. And this mix contributes because a player contributes to the team's performance and the team contributes to their individual performances. During this campaign, well, we've had some injuries. As I said, in Marseille, we're always disappointed, always sad when a player gets injured with us. We, as staff, always feel responsible because we support the players in their development, and we're never guilty. If we put a player on the field, it means we've validated their capacity, their ability to play. So we are responsible because that's our choice, but never guilty. Then we prepared also for such a scenario, which is not a good one. That is to lose players to injury. We lost Romain and Tamac through injury. We had Paul Willemse, who was injured during the break, during individual training at home, and he had to abandon his participation. These were two players who were in a group of 42 who had to leave us, and in the competition amongst the 33 currently, we have two injured players, Julien Marchand and Antoine Dupont. But if they're with us, it's because we are sure that they will come back to the competition. We are going forward at 33. We remain 33, and we will stay together. Why the decision to go to the posts with the last possession, with the last penalty? At the end of the game, well, I was no longer on the field, so I can't give you the details of the discussions at that point. But I think simply, well, it was last 16 games, so there's no real bonus. So we just wanted to be sure to win the game and do things as they should be done. I can't tell you exactly the discussions that took place on the field to go between the posts, but it coincided with our philosophy of getting things done and, above all, winning this game. Yes, hello. Fabien, you often say we're where we want to be. So tonight you're where you wanted to be. You've qualified for the quarterfinals. So how do you feel? Are you happy? Are you saying to yourself, we're progressing and we're slowly getting closer to the goal we set ourselves? Yes, we're very, very happy to have had a successful game. Very happy to have a successful qualifying stage. Very satisfied with 4 years and 43 games. This evening we will recuperate together. We'll try and spend some good times together, celebrate this qualification, and then we will turn to the quarterfinal, which will be for us after a first World Cup final against New Zealand will be a second World Cup final for us, clearly. So we are very happy to be validating our qualifying stage, our pool stage, but we know that our next meeting next Sunday is a second World Cup final waiting for us, clearly, and I'm weighing my words. Right at the back. A question for the captain. Charles, as a player, how do you feel about the start from the French team and the way you played this game? Are there any things that are particularly satisfying or others you need to work on? How do you feel? Well, yes, there is some positive. We wanted to be all out from the start to the end for all 80 minutes. We wanted to be very intense. We also wanted to prepare for the rest and have good releases to be able to convert our game. So that was the main thing we said in the change room before the game. So the pack of forwards has a big responsibility in this, and I think we played our role well, and we enabled the hinge and the three quarters to play in good conditions. So yes, we're satisfied about that aspect of the game. I think we wanted to go head on with all 15 of us, and I think we applied it tonight. Hello, Jean-Gabriel Montagne from the Parisien. Could you have a word about potential opponents in the quarterfinals, and particularly South Africa, who are the lead team? Or how do you see that opponent or potential opponent for Sunday? I'll repeat what I said. Whoever the opponent is, for us, it's clearly a World Cup final. On one side, they are the South Africans are world champions who have prepared their back-to-back. They've clearly been preparing for that. And on the other side, you've got the world number ones. So the draw is what it is, and it's up to us to do our work, our job. Charles, here on the left, you had a historical victory against Namibia. This is your largest victory against Italy. Are these small signals? Are you sending a message about your progression? It's the result of our hard work and over the game. Whether it's Namibia or this game, we were serious. We wanted to do things properly. And this is the consequence. The historic scores against Namibia or Italy are the consequence of all our work that we put in. So yes, if it's sending out a signal, so much the better. It means that we did things well. But then we wanted to be intense. We wanted to hit them head on and be best prepared the next game, and I hope the next games. Fabien, again. 6 of your 8 tries today were the fruit of building long sequences, long phases. Is that something that might have been missing since the beginning? Are you satisfied to validate this stage before the quarterfinals? It's good. But as long as we score and we win games, we're satisfied. We're not here to do demonstrations or do long phases. Spending a lot of time scoring is not our goal. Our goal is to win the game, and to win the game, it's a question of there are several boxes to tick, but not all of them. Sometimes we score in a certain way, sometimes we don't ship points in a certain way. The important thing is that at the end of the game, we end up ahead. We're not here to show off or to look good. We're here to win the game. So if today you're happy with the long phases, then we're happy to please you. Anyway, I will repeat what we've been trying to do for the last 4 years. We're trying to unite and share around our team all of French rugby, and even more today. So we can hear the critics, or whether they're positive or negative. We're not unsensitive to it. It does affect us. Fabien, to your left, killing off the game quickly, and was that one of your goals in this game, to prepare for this second World Cup final, as you call it? It's true, it happened very quickly. I think the game seemed not quite killed off, but around the 20th minute, I think we'd already scored around 4 tries or 24 points after 20 minutes. Wow, he's playing and he still manages to remember. I've got all the screens in front of me and I can't remember anything. Well done, Charles. And actually, it was will to attack the game with everything we could do best. You never know what the scenario is going to be. You never know what's going to happen. There are so many different things that can happen today in rugby with the penalties. There's so many ways of being sanctioned with or without the ball. both by the rules and by the opponent. So you can never anticipate. We have a game plan, and often it doesn't work out as planned, but we've learned to adapt. We've learned to adapt our team to events, and it's true, generally it went better than expected, because Charles reminded me that we'd scored 24 points by the 20th minute. That's perfect, perfect. We'll take a final question. Charles, how do you prepare mentally to play the Springboks? It will be a bit of a war. Have you already played tomorrow's game? We can't know who's going to be our opponent. If I may, there is a Scotland-Ireland game that might modify the quarterfinals. We know we'll be there, but Scotland-Ireland is a game that a suspenseful game. But if you're talking to us about our future opponents, it's quite simple. It's a World Cup final for us. Thank you, everybody. This is the end of the press conference.